and I'll ask Professor Pratama to introduce himself and to talk about his materials.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Just tell me when you want the slides to advance.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, GTEL and Saudi Electronic University for having me. My name is Ahmad Pratama. I am Associate Professor in Information Technology at Universitas Islam Indonesia, the oldest and also one of the largest private university in Indonesia. I have been studying the use, the acceptance, and the effectiveness of e-learning and other educational technologies in different contexts in different countries. Indonesia, my hometown, in Saudi Arabia with my colleagues from Saudi Electronic University and also from University of Jeddah. In Australia, where I did my master's degree, in United States, where I did my PhD, and some other countries as well. I'd like to start my talk today with a quote from Bill Gates. If you go, please, to the next slide. So yeah, e-learning can be an incredibly powerful tool for providing education and training, but it is important to remember that it is not a magic bullet. So e-learning needs to be used in the right way, for the right people, and for the right reasons. This was true in 2013, where Bill Gates had this interview with HBR back then, and I believe it is still true today in 2023. Especially when we talk about STEM. The next slide, please. So yeah, we all know that for some people, for some students, STEM fields are challenging by nature, with or without e-learning. Because in STEM, we can't just rely on rote memorizations, but we also have to master the skills. We need to engage in hands-on skills and gaining experience from that. Yeah, the use of e-learning through interactive and multimedia resources, and also virtual labs, simulations, immersive technology can undoubtedly enhance the learning experience and make STEM subject more engaging for learners. But also, on the other hand, there's also occasions where with e-learning, there are lack of interactions, direct interactions with teachers, with peers, and also with the lab equipments. In STEM, we can't always replace the physical lab equipments with simulations. So in those instances, it can make STEM fields more difficult to be delivered in e-learning. And it makes it more difficult for students to ask questions, receive feedback, and also develop the hands-on skills they needed for these STEM fields. Okay, the next slide, please. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that I have been fortunate enough to research some the use, the acceptance, and also the effectiveness of e-learning in different countries and also in different contexts. One of them is here, where, yeah, it works. Back in 2016, 2015, 2016, we had this need from our college in electrical engineering department at State University of New York. They have this distance learning program for electrical engineering where most students are either full-time employee or part-time employee, and they can only go to campus once a week. And during that once a week campus visit, they have to do the lab exercise, and the TA, the teaching assistants, usually they had to spend a lot of time to explain things to make sure that in this instance, they are trying to build electrical circuits, something like just fundamental things for electrical engineering, actually. But without proper e-learning methods, it took the teaching assistants a long time to help them to make sure that the circuit that they're building is working properly. So we decided to develop some kind of application, some kind of software that can help them. We did a survey, we did an experimental study actually where we divided students into 3 groups actually, and one group, we asked them to use this software before they come to the lab, and yeah, we found out that that e-learning method is highly effective in reducing the time spent by the teaching assistant in helping students building their circuits. But some other times, e-learning doesn't work. Next slide, please. So this is actually one of the paper that you can see 9 posters on the other room across this hall. We made a survey experiment using e-learning to try to increase cybersecurity awareness among students, and we compare it between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, and we found out that the 2 approaches that we use didn't really make any difference in student cybersecurity awareness.